everybody, it's Kira and welcome back to my channel. So today I have my February wrap-up for you guys. Before I get into that, I have a couple of things to talk about. First of all, I'm not doing a February haul because I did not get any books in the month of February, so good for me for saving money. And then the other is that I haven't been making videos, and there's two reasons for that. One is just logistical. My roommate has been with me in her room very much more so this semester than she was last semester, so I have less time that I'm actually alone in my room to film. There's really only like one time during the week and then maybe on the weekends that I can do it. And the other is that I haven't felt like making videos or reading even. I have kind of rediscovered / explored Star Kid Productions. If you don't know, Star Kid is a theater company. They're the ones who did a Harry Potter musical. All of their stuff is on YouTube, so it's all for free, and it's just so silly and just so amazing. And Lauren Lopez and Joey Richer are like two of the most talented people on the planet, I swear. But anyways, so I've been obsessed with them recently, so I haven't felt like reading because I've just been watching their shows and listening to their music and stuff. But with all that being said, it is a new month. I'm going to talk about the books that I read last month. I had a decent reading month. And yeah, now I'll actually get into the books. So the first book I read in February is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. This is something that has been on my list for forever to read because I just like had never read it. I've also never seen the movie or like any adaptation of it. I knew what the general plot of it was kind of just from like cultural references, but I had never read it or anything, not even for class, so I decided to read it for fun. It was enjoyable. The language was probably the hardest thing. It was just like being able to focus. Like I couldn't read this for long periods of time because my mind would start to wander because I have to like focus really hard on what I'm reading. So you like would read a paragraph and then you have to be like, wait, what did I actually just read? Like what just happened there? But I loved Elizabeth Sass. It was so funny. Her wit was very great and I really enjoyed that. And I am going to watch I'm hoping to watch all of the adaptations, honestly, at some point in time or another, but yeah, now I can say that I have read this. And also, this is a book that I own, so this is one book read for my owned TBR, which, if you don't know, my goal is to read at least 10 books that I own this year. So, yeah, really enjoyed this. Glad that I read it. The next book that I finished in the month of February is Mortal Engines by Philip Reeve. I've been listening to this on audiobook for forever. And I finally finished it. It was enjoyable. It wasn't like my favorite book of all time, but I started reading the sequel just because I'm curious as to what's going to happen. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I'm on the hold list at my library, so I'm hoping to watch that soon. If you don't know, this is a, like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's kind of dystopian world where the cities, like people don't really live in cities anymore. The cities that they live in are like move. They have wheels and they like move, and the goal of them is to like eat other cities. So you have like a couple main characters that you're following, and I don't even know how to explain this book really. But the movie looks really interesting, and it was done by Peter Jackson, who did Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, so like obviously really good quality there. So I'm excited to watch the movie, but I'm just glad that I finished it, honestly. It's kind of like this was okay but not fantastic kind of book. But I am reading the sequel just as something to like fall asleep to and also read, and I don't know. I don't really know what my thoughts are on this yet, honestly. The next book that I read is Wonder Woman Warbringer by Leigh Bardugo. This was such a fun book. I got it from the library as like one of my last Leigh Bardugo books that I had to read. I think I've read everything that she's put out, at least that's YA at this point. All that I really knew about Wonder Woman was from the recent Wonder Woman movie from, was that 2 years ago or last year? Feels like forever ago. Whatever. So that was really the only exposure that I had to Wonder Woman. And this was just a really cool way to do it. Diana is 17 in this book, and so it's more teenagers, but you still had the really fun aspect of like when she goes to New York City, of her like experiencing the world and just being so confused about why things are the way they are. And I really enjoyed the like plot twist at the end of the book. It was really good, and it was just like such a fun read for me, and I definitely want to like own this book in the future because it was really fun. And then I finished off my Leigh Bardugo run with King of Scars. So this is the Nikolai spinoff, but I feel like it was kind of marketed wrong in a way because it's not just about Nikolai. Like, a lot of it is about Nikolai, but it also includes other characters. So I wish that like it had been kind of marketed that way. But this is a spin-off series from her Grisha trilogy and the Six of Crows duology. You need to read those before you read this one because you will be majorly spoiled for things and you won't understand what's going on. But this one, there were like, so I've been hearing mixed things. Like, in the little bit that I've been watching BookTube, I've been hearing mixed things about this. And I feel like the plot was kind of weird and I didn't love it, honestly. But I loved these characters. I loved being back in their heads, being in some new heads, like meeting some new people. I really enjoyed the sass. I mean, Nikolai was always one of my favorite characters from the Grisha trilogy, and so it was really fun to like get more of his perspective. So I really enjoyed like being in the world and being with these characters. I found that the plot wasn't my favorite. There's a lot to do with the Darkling that I didn't really enjoy, honestly. But again, like, I enjoyed being with these characters, and so I will of course read, because this is the start of a duology, so I will of course read the next book. But yeah, I managed to read this, really happy that I did. And I mean, this cover is so cool too. Like, I need Leigh Bardugo's books immediately. And the last book that I finished last month in February was The Last Sin Eater by Francine Rivers. This is a book one of our family friends let me borrow because we were talking about Francine Rivers and she owned this book and she really enjoyed it. So I didn't know that the concept of a sin eater was a thing, but this is like a historical fiction with a little bit of like magical realism in it. But the idea of a sin eater is that like a community would choose one person and they would outcast them, and then once someone in the community died, the sin eater would be called to like take the sins of the person who died onto themselves, and that's why they had to like be outcasted, because they like can't live with everybody else. So it follows a 10-year-old girl and a 15-year-old boy, and they are living in the Rockies, and it's the mid 1850s, I think is what it said, something along those lines. And so the girl's grandma dies, and they're not supposed to look at the sin eater when he eats the sins of the person who died, but she does, and then she becomes intrigued, and then there's a man of God who comes and is preaching the gospel to their community. And so a lot of things happen. It's a lot of like drama with this small community that lives in the mountains. It was really good. Definitely a different feel from Redeeming Love or from the Mark of the Lion trilogy, but still really good. I mean, Francine Rivers is amazing at writing, and yeah, it was a really interesting concept that I was glad to read about. There is a movie of this too, but I haven't seen it yet. I'm hoping to watch it sometime, but I mean, yeah, I encourage you guys to read it. It was very interesting. So there you have it. Those are all of the books that I read in February. I'm filming this on March 2nd, but I haven't read anything in the past like week or two because again, StarKid. If anybody wants to talk StarKid, please let me know, because I will totally talk StarKid. None of my IRL friends are like big StarKid fans, so anybody online I can talk to about StarKid, I will. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry, I'm kind of like lackluster. I'm just going through a weird mood right now and just haven't felt like filming, so I'm not going to make myself film because I don't want to be less authentic on camera. But yeah, anyways, if you want to follow me on social media, talk about anything, all my links are in the description as always. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!